Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So I am just like blown away that I can even say that. I'm so excited for you guys to watch this video. Creating this look was so much fun for me. It was really great to kind of walk you guys through the different things that I was doing, show you the techniques that I have. So let me know if it was helpful or if it wasn't. Be honest with me, comment below, just let me know what you thought. The whole reason I'm doing this is because I want to help everyone out there be able to achieve beauty of whatever sort that is. So if it's drag or it's just a simple glam, I want to be able to help you with that. I will be having a giveaway. So this giveaway will actually be launched on my Facebook page first. So they're gonna have a couple of days advantage other than anyone else. So I recommend that you follow my Facebook page so you can catch up on all the giveaways in the future. So this giveaway is really special because it's going to be a few products that I really love, and they're gonna be things that you see featured in this video. So the three things are going to be the Jaclyn Hill palette. This is the OG one. Mine's filthy because I just used it. So it's going to be this entire palette, which is just incredible. It's going to be the Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day Setting Spray in Coconut. My favorite things is going to be the Morphe Y14 highlighting brush. It's a little dirty right now because I just used it to create this beautiful look, but this is super incredible and I really recommend it to everyone. Okay, so how to be in the running. So the giveaway is very simple. First, you have to be a subscriber to my YouTube channel. Secondly, you do have to comment below. So I don't care if you skim through this whole video, that's why I did it in the beginning so you don't have to watch it. But if you comment below and you're subscribed to me, you will be in the running. Now there is another way that you can actually higher your chances. If you recommend any friends and they subscribe and they comment below, have them comment your name. That only higher your chances. And I will be going back through and looking. I will actually be doing that exactly a week from when I post this, whenever that may be. Hopefully it's a couple of days. But anyways, I wanted to make sure you guys have that opportunity because I want you to be able to create whatever look it is that you want to do. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Thank you so much for watching it, and I'll see you next time. So to start, I went ahead and pinned my hair back just using some simple bobby pins just to get it out of my face. So I like to start my makeup off with my eyebrows. So I will actually be doing a video on that additionally. So I'm going to be doing these off camera today. Okay, so going into our Jaclyn Hill palette, we're going to start off with this beautiful yellow. It's called Creamsicle. And we are going to also be using the Morphe M332 brush. This is probably my favorite brush. I use it almost all of my looks. I just really like the head of it just because it's not too high up and it gives me a lot of control when doing color. Okay, so we're going to dip in and you're going to want to get a good amount. I don't know how much of that you guys can see. We're just going to do a few taps in there, and then we're going to start up at the high point just because you guys will notice with this look that it goes yellow, red, brown. So some people like to start with the dark first. I always start with the lighter just because I can go back and build on it. So we're going to start off pretty high here, and we're just going to lightly buff that into the skin, and we're going to want to go out pretty far with this. Now, anyone who knows when I do makeup, I like to build. So I will lay down my line and then go in and add until I'm happy with the color. A little time consuming, but the precision of it is just so worthwhile. And at that end there, just kind of, you know, I loosen my grip just so it kind of gives it that little wisp. Now honestly, the tail of that doesn't matter just because later we are going to be going in and putting other colors so it'll all blend in. So make sure with this yellow that you are bringing it all the way down to the inner point of your eye here, just because this is a cut crease. We are going to be cutting it, so you want to make sure that color can be seen even on the inside here. doing this, I'm kind of, you know, putting the product on in one sweep and then going back and blending it in the opposite direction. And I feel like doing that really does help blending it out, just so you never have like this harsh line you have right now. This one's so blended out, and it's because I'm going back. You know, I leave a little room above, and then I just kind of go back in and blend it out. So we're gonna go back into the Jaclyn Hill palette, and we're going to be using the shade Pooter, which is incredible. It's just a really great red. So we're gonna go ahead, and this time we are actually going to work beneath it. We want that yellow to show through. So we're just gonna go beneath it a little bit. Now this one I am going to pack a little bit more on, just because this is our middle color. So this is gonna look really weird, but for me, what I'm going to do is put it lower than what I need it, and then I'm going to buff it up just a little bit. But make sure you have that yellow peek through, just because you want that beautiful transcending color. Okay. And you're basically going to follow the shape that you created before. You're just really going to blend it upwards into that beautiful yellow. Grab a little bit more, just to deepen it up. Make sure you're going all the way down to that inner corner again, guys. Okay, so I was reading the palette backwards. I didn't realize that colors are opposite. Makes no sense. Anyways, so earlier the color I used was not Pooter. I knew it looked weird because it wasn't like as orangey red, but you know, who am I? I didn't create it. That color is actually Hunt's. And then the color we're going to be using now is actually called Chip. It's a really pretty deep, deep, deep dark brown. Okay, and I'm changing up my brush just because I need something a little bit shorter and more dense. So I'm going to be using the Morphe M431. And this part is where things get crazy, just because we need this to be super, super dark. Now the great part is we're gonna go in and cut the crease afterwards, so don't worry about the underneath. You're really just wanting to make sure you get a really good transition up into the red. So kind of like before, start a little bit lower than where the red is starting so you can blend upwards. With this one, I am gonna pack it on pretty good, just because I wanna make sure that I'm getting the intensity of the really dark brown. So what we're gonna do, just pretty much place it in there, and then just start, you know, maybe just do a windshield wiper motion. And yes, we're gonna go all the way down to that point in the eye again. Now be careful here, because you can really ruin this look if you go all the way past that red. And that's why we wanted to make sure earlier that, you know, we are starting a little bit lower. That way we can blend upwards. Okay. So I'm gonna go in with my Shape Tape again. And I'm just gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand, just because I really won't be needing much. This is just really to help me with keep control of the product as I'm applying it to my crease. So every eye is different. For me, I have hooded eyes, so when I'm cutting the crease, I have to be very, very careful about where I place this, just because, you know, when I open my eyes wide, I don't want the product to be smearing all over the place. The purpose of this is to have that sharp line. So the first step you're going to want to do is take that product and just place it on the middle with the high point of your eye, and then just look up. And then that will actually tell you your highest point of where you need to cut your crease. So in this case, we are doing like an almond, but in some cases people do more of a circle, but for us, we're going to work towards an angle. Now the great thing about this look is it is dark on the edge, so we don't even really have to fully cut it. So I'm just going to actually be cutting like round, but I'm going to make sure that I'm keeping somewhat of an almond cut. But it really won't matter because we are going to go in and conceal with that line. So now I'm just going to work the product upwards, and I will not ever exceed that line. just because I don't want that big of a crease. I'm going to add a little bit more on my brush, and then I'm going to start by taking just the point, the end here of my brush, and just working it towards that inner corner. Now this is when earlier when I was telling you guys to be mindful of not going past those colors. So whenever we're cutting this, we can really see the transition between all of those colors. And that is really what creates this look. Once again, not going past that high point. And really guys, with this look, just the way that we're doing it, however you want to go down from here really won't matter. For me, I am going to go to the end of my eye, but I'm not primarily worried about this point up here, just because I do know whenever we go in and create that white hollow line, that's going to cut through the colors that we're about to add. So we're going to work same colors that we did before. So we're going to be doing the yellow, the red, and the brown. Right, so we're going to work with a smaller brush for this just because we are working with a smaller area. I'm going to be using the Morphe M222. It's, once again, a dense brush. If you haven't noticed, I love dense brushes. But it's very, very short. It comes to somewhat of a point, which helps me with lightly blending and then digging a little bit deeper. So let's go ahead and get into that Creamsicle. I'm not going to do much product, just as before. I really want to be in control of the intensity of it. So I'm just going to tap it on there and then blend it upwards. And as you guys can see, it's barely on there just because I really want to be in control of that payoff. And I'm just tapping it on there. Grab a little bit more. I'm not going quite up to the top. I'm leaving just a little bit of space there, just because it is a cut crease. We want to have that little bit of a line. And now I'm just going to lightly feather the edge of that. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm going somewhat of an angle. Just for me, I know that I'm going to want a little bit. Same brush, I'm going to go in to Hunts. I'm just putting that very barely on the tip of my brush there. So if you guys can see it there. Okay. And I'm going to work on the outer corner. I'm sorry, not the outer corner, the outer line of the yellow. I know I'm going to blend it more in, but I'm just once again wanting to be in really good control of that product. Okay. Lightly pack it on. And then start very softly feathering, just like lightly moving it into that yellow. Now we are going to want to darken it. So we're going to work from the outside of our eye here all the way down to the point where it's dark. Do not go past that just because we don't want to lose those colors. So we're going to work just until about the tail end of it, and then work up into that red. Only work about halfway into the red, but let's just start from the outer corner of the eye here. So grab a lot of that dark brown and then just start right there, just like you guys can see. And then we're just going to blend upwards into those colors. And at this point, you can put just a little bit more. And if you want to go in and darken up that brown around the outside, definitely feel free to do so. Totally optional though, some of you guys might be happy with where it's at. So I'm going to be, let's use my other brush. The Morphe M416. Let me not use that hand, that's filthy. Just start working on putting that on there. So let's just start on the inside here, and do not go past that line. That line was there for a reason. And then just really tap it in. Okay, and then just like coloring, follow that line. Okay, so I did my under eye, had a whole video I was doing, and then about halfway through it, realized I didn't conceal under my eyes. So because of that, it was not working, wasn't happy with it. So the great thing about makeup, you can remove it and start all over. So I just took a little bit of my concealer, taking the beauty blender, and I'm just gonna work it under my eye. All the way, like everywhere we're gonna be applying this. So I'm literally going all the way under that wing that we created up into the inside of my eye. And this is just gonna help us hold that product. But you guys didn't get to hear this because I erased it, so we're gonna be doing this again. I am taking a Morphe M22 brush. Let me wipe off my hand before I show this because I'm not an animal. Well, we're all animals, besides the point. Anyways, we're gonna use the Morphe M222. This is a beautiful point, so it's very easy to use. So we are gonna go into our yellow first. So the reason we're going to start with our yellow is because that's going to create our furthest points that we're wanting to go down. So I will tell you beforehand, when I was going through and doing this, I went way too far down, didn't look cute. So just be mindful of your eye. Make sure when you're doing your makeup, you're looking straight ahead so you can be aware of like any creasing that you have. That way you can know that like if you are doing the yellow right at the very bottom and your eye creases, when you look up, no one's going to see it. So just be careful of that. So I'm actually going to probably go, because I know my creases to here, so I'm probably going to go down right there and then just blend it all the way to the point. And once again, this is creating outer corner, just like we did before. Now I'm gonna go into our Hunt's color again, the yellow, I'm sorry, not the yellow, the red. And I'm gonna go right above my yellow here. And I'm being mindful to blend it just as I did before. Putting the product down and then brushing it into the yellow. And with chip, I'm going to put just a little bit on my brush. I'm really just putting that on the very tip. And I'm going to start in the outer corner here. And I'm working really tight against my line just because we want that to be really dark under there. But be sure to not go past that red. And we're working in that swiping motion, as you guys can see again. And we're going to go all the way to the inside of that eye over there, where that tear duct is. It's pretty much like your liner. You could look at it that way. We're going to be done with our colors for now. We may have to go in and touch something up. I'm going to be using the Morphe M250-S. This is a very, very thin little brush. It's perfect for like liner and things of that sort. So that is what we're going to be using. As long as you can get a small brush, you can even find like one of the little painting brushes. It doesn't matter. Just something that you can use to get that line in there. Go ahead and put a little more concealer on the back of your hand. I'm using that Tarte again. And I'm just going to go ahead and get a good amount. I'm honestly just brushing into it because I don't want any clumps. Just brushing into that concealer. And now what I'm going to do is start at the bottom, just because I kind of want to, I always call it the magic line, but I kind of want to get the length of the eyeliner down. So working from the outer corner, so find your most outer corner here. Go ahead and tap that brush on there just lightly, and then just work on brushing it out. Okay, get a little bit more. You guys know I start small. Okay, and try to keep this as clean as possible. And then what I'm doing is I pressed the whole brush, and then I kind of pulled it back in like this motion, and lightly started to feather out the end, just so I can go ahead and create my point. Perfect. That's the length I want. I'm happy with it. Okay, so dipping back into that, I'm still doing my little brushing motions. I'm gonna find where I created that white point earlier. And this is why we kind of drug that white color all the way over. Up at the top, we didn't completely cover it because we are creating a white line, whatever you want to call it. So we're gonna go from that point, and we're going to just work all the way down to where we just created that line. Now, pro tip, do not go all the way to the complete edge. We did kind of feather it out, so we want to keep that point. So try to go all the way until about like 95% of it. At this point, you can go back in with your yellow, I'm sorry, not your yellow, with the white color that you had choose to do, or whatever color that you use on that inner corner, and then use it on the rest of that. For me, I'm actually going to go in with the glitter. It's the kind of woman I am. This is just called Vegas Baby Pig 20. It is a NYX pigment, and their pigments are incredible. They're super affordable. So I'm just going to tap that into the lid. So what I'm actually going to use, just clean it off here, is the same brush that we had used for the concealer. So it's the M250-S, the very thin one. I'm going to be using it's called Liquid Sugar, but it's basically a glitter base. It's just a little clear liquid, but it dries up very, very tacky, so I can apply it, or I can apply my glitters wherever I please. Brush that onto the white. So now we're going to apply our lashes. Today I'm going to be using I assume it's called Elidia. It's a 3D Fox Mink, and it's done by AOA Studio. I'm going to be using Tarte Shape Tape Hydrating Foundation. So I'm going to be putting my foundation on today with the Morphe M439 brush. Spray today I'm going to be using the Slay All Day Coconut by Gerard Cosmetics. 2 spritz. Then we're going to go in with that sharp Shape Tape concealer. Just going to dab it in a few times there. Just to get off any excess. And I'm going to go under that immediate eye, and I'm going to press that powder in all over. I'm going to be using Airspun. Love this stuff. I'll be using Anastasia, Beverly Hills contour. So my number one go-to is always Ash Brown. It is just this beautiful brown with this nice red. It's not really a red, but just a really nice finish. So that is probably my number one go-to. I love pairing that up with, because I'm a contour girl, I love having dark contour. I go in with the darkest color, Carob. I'm going to be using my Morphe M105. We're going to do a little baking. So I love a clean contour. I'm going to be using the Morphe Y14. This brush is perfect for highlighting. So I'm going to go in with my Slay All Day setting spray by Gerard Cosmetics. We're also going to be using the Becca, what is this one? Ski Glow Face Palette. I love this one as well. I'm especially in love with this Opal. I'm going to go in to the Becca, and I'm going to use my Sephora brush as well, the same one we used earlier, the 59, and I'm going to go ahead and dip into the two different blushes, the Yes Girl and Make Me Blush. I love them both, so we're going to be using them both. For lipstick, we're going to be using Peachy Keen by Gerard Cosmetics. It's probably my favorite lipstick. At least setting spray again. This is what makes it last all day, so we're going to go ham. We're going back in with our Gerard Cosmetics again. Okay. I'm gonna fix my hair and I'll be right back.